Okay, gamers and game nuts, what is going on? My name is Tanek127 and welcome back to another Skyforge video. And before we get into today's video, guys, as usual, let me do my shameless plugins. If you're not, make sure to follow me at the appropriate social media at Tanek127. And also, if you guys are new here to the channel, ring that bell, subscribe, especially if you want more Skyforge content. I try to make Skyforge videos as often as I can, but I've made a lot of Skyforge content in the past that's still relevant today. So I don't upload it a ton, but whenever I find new things that, the community, I feel the community needs to know, I do bring them here to the channel. So subscribe if you want more to that. And also, give this video a rating. It helps me out, helps out the channel and stuff like that. And let's go ahead and get right on into today's video. So now, in today's video, we are going to be talking about gearing and raiding. This is honestly one of my favorite parts of Skyforge. It's one thing that I feel the game does right, except the whole superiority system, which I've expressed my opinion on already. Be sure to check that video out if you haven't already. But I'm going to be talking to you guys about what you should be doing. So first and foremost, gearing. You should not be focusing on gear much until you are finished your main campaign and you have done the equipment tutorial. And for the love of God, please, if you have not done the equipment tutorial, stop trying to jump in people's MEDEA, ISABELLA, and Ophelia runs, because you are going to interrupt that group. Because if you have not done the equipment tutorial, you cannot run a dungeon that is more than 5 people. So do not join groups for that unless you have finished that equipment tutorial. I don't care if you are prestige rank 999. If you have not done the equipment tutorial, you are not getting into a raid. Period. Okay. I want to throw that big tip out there. I see so many people doing that. I've LFG'd groups so many times, and there'll always be one knucklehead who has no clue what the equipment tutorial is who jumped in my thing, and it's frustrating because it's hard enough to get the group. Queues are not great in this game, and you finally get a group and there's one guy who just doesn't know, and you're new, so I forgive you, but it's a little frustrating, my man. So just work with me. But anyway, guys, let me go ahead and teach you about the whole gear system. So first and foremost, disclaimer: your rank in Skyforge is always going to be mainly based off of how you're growing your might. So your rank that you're earning alone, like for example, my rank of 55, not my plus 13 that makes me a 68. That 55 is always going to be what's most important. Focus your cathedral and your tower of knowledge for leveling your might and rank more than anything, because those take priority. Superiority is just a boost that helps. It's not going to be the dominant status. Because remember, that first number, that 55 that I have right there, that's next to that plus 13, that's going to be what gets me into, different content and stuff like that. Not that additional 13, which is why I don't quite understand the stat of superiority. So first and foremost, when you want to focus on gear, every single dungeon in this game has gear drops. All right, you guys are going to look here, and as you see, you have all these group 5-man dungeons. They all have different pieces of gear. The little one that's right next to the gear right there, where it says Rare Amulet of Integration, that means it's a Generation 1 piece. That's because we are on the first invasion. When you're on the second invasion, it'll be Generation 2. When you're on the third invasion, it'll be Generation 3. When you're on the fourth, it'll be 4, etc., etc., etc. You get the idea. Even when you're on Generation 99, Invasion 99, guess what? It's going to be Generation 99 gear until they change up this this system. But anyway, just like, all MMO, action RPGs and stuff like that, gear comes in a few rarities. You have basic white and grays, you have your greens, you have your blues, you have your purples, and you have your golds. The higher the rarity, the better the gear is, the more it does for your superiority, aka also, part of your rank. But we're just going to say superiority because, like I said, it's mostly for the additional stats. It helps your stats more than it helps your level in this game. That's one thing I think that honestly needs to change. And sorry if I keep harping on that. It's just it bothers me. As when you go to your equipment screen, you have 8 pieces of gear, an artifact, and you have your weapon. Your weapon, obviously, I don't need to stress the importance of that. Your artifact, this one's really going to be up to you. It depends on what kind of bonus you want for your build. I would determine this by the class that you play. If you're a melee style class, I would aim for artifacts that give you additional health and stuff like that, because you're the one that has to get closer to the enemy. You're always in the most danger, and that's not counting dodging AoEs and stuff like that. If you're a ranged class, I would definitely things that that focus more on damage or extra stamina or, you know, movement speed or things like that. There's all kinds of artifacts, so be able to, you know, check them out as they drop in dungeons and different content. You have a ring, an amulet, a I don't remember what exactly this one's called, so forgive me. You have a bracelet, and you got four gems. But the thing with these is your objective right now is to get all of these the highest rarity possible in your current generation. So for example, my goal, since it's generation 1 right now, I want all 8 of these generation 1 and gold, mythical, or legendary rarity. Like this Wrath of Aspects right here. This was a lucky drop that I had got from a practice avatar run. And you can also, you know, get high-end drops out of those. Now, to upgrade your gear, you want to go ahead and, I'm playing on Nintendo Switch right now, you want to push Y. It's all about just, you know, farming more materials that you regularly get. Now, most MMORPGs, your gear is one level, and then there's, you know, there's stuff you have to craft or grind in some to upgrade it. Skyforge kind of takes that process and amplifies it a little bit. Like we've told you guys, Skyforge is a grindy game. If you're watching this video, you've probably come to terms with that by now, or hopefully you have. So in here, you're going to need 2 special items for upgrading your gear. The first one is going to be pure matter. Pure matter is simply an item that you get from just breaking down or selling gear. But the trick is, right, it has to be generation 1 gear. If you get gear that has no generation numbers on it, like for example, if I broke down this rare emerald right here, I wouldn't get no pure matter from it. So make sure you're farming higher end stuff, you know, things that you would do at endgame. Don't go through, you know, your little group missions that you did during the campaign on warm-up and think, you know, that's just going to drop generation 1 stuff all day. No, that's not happening. You do got to challenge yourself a little bit. But pure matter, and also these marks of the judge and the assassin, and there's also one more mark you can get as well. Those are the ones that, you know, that'll give you what you need for the upgrade. Sorry, I keep scrolling through the menus here. But what you basically do is, and as you guys can see, it's right here on my screen. To upgrade it once, it's going to bring up my integrity. And I'm going to do it once just to show you. It brought my integrity up to 51%. It's 75 pure matter and 30,000 credits each time I want to upgrade that integrity just by a few percent. And once I get that integrity to maximum, it's going to give me the option to upgrade that gear to another level. Since this piece is purple, the next one would be yellow, which is actually mythical. Now, I would say optimally, you want to just get all your gear to mythical. You can go beyond that if, you know, if you're really invested in the grind and, you know, you just want the top-notch, top-of-the-line stuff every generation. But I would highly, you know, just suggest for, you know, most people, once you're at purple or mythical for all your gear pieces, you should be good to go. That's usually how the case is. Now, to farm these different pieces of gear, I'm going to give you guys some recommendations of a few dungeons I recommend. Now, the first, foremost, and most obvious ones that you guys want to grind: Operation Isabella and Medea. There's also one called Ophelia. I'm going to assume that it's not in the game yet. Yes, there is a third raid that you are missing. These, especially on their trial difficulty, which is, you know, peep that rank up there for trial. That's one reason I say focus mainly on your towers for your rank. Don't let your gear number given to you by superiority fool you into thinking you can run that if it's not quite there. But you guys want to focus on running these in their trial modes. That's going to be one of the best and most efficient ways to farm gear. They're fast runs, especially if you got 10 players and things like that, and high level people, they can be very, very, very quick runs. You know, if people bring their divine forms and all kinds of things like that. It may be a little bit slow on Switch, you know, just because a lot of players are newer and we're just starting out. But those are definitely one of the most efficient ways to farm the gear. Also, another thing you want to do is any of these group dungeons right here. Now, these dungeons, they're going to drop, you know, gear that's a little bit lower in rarity. But there's always a chance that you'll get a higher rarity piece. And not to mention, their trial versions also give you Generation 1. So that's a good way to farm pure matter and also new gear pieces, because you may get a good drop out of these occasionally. And not to mention, as you guys can see, I also have a lot of these that still owe me sparks of transformation. Like, for example, TARLEN AQUIFER here still owes me 1,250 sparks for one run. Yeah, you guys that are talking about you need classes, come knock a couple of these out. They'll help you. And that doesn't count the sparks that drop during the dungeon run. But yeah, guys, this is the one thing about Skyforge that is pretty fun, the gear grinding and stuff like that. And not to mention your directives can give you chests and stuff that drop gear too. But I wouldn't count on directives as much for gear. Like I said, if you're farming gear and you're just specifically trying to level up your gear, the main thing you want to do are your 5-man group dungeons and your party 10-man raids. And that includes, you know, running occasional practice avatars and distortions and stuff like that. You get the higher end stuff from those, but your objective right now is to get geared up to run those different missions. So I would say, you know, focus on your party, your 10-man raids, and your 5-man dungeons. But anyway, guys, if this guide helped you, be sure to smash that thumbs up button for me. I want to thank you all so much for watching. It's your boy Tnek127, and please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Till next time, peace out, take care.